Hi everyone, I'm Timothy from ME222, and I'm also a part-time student librarian for IMU. And today I'm going to be reviewing a book called, as you can see on the screen, Review of Medical Microbiology and Immunology, A Guide to Clinical Infectious Disease, the 17th edition, by Warren Levinson, Peter Chin Hong, Elizabeth A. Joyce, Jesse Nussbaum, and Brian Schwartz. So this book is published by McGraw-Hill and can be accessed through the IMU e-library portal. So this book contains all the important microorganisms that we actually learn in the entire medical school. So it is a very in-depth book that talks about each microorganism, how is it recognized, like the serological tests. So under like microscope, how does it look like, how do we identify it, and then what are the mode of transportation, how does it cause disease, what are the diseases that it causes, and even into treatment, and how do we prevent this microorganism from infecting people. And then before that, they also go into here are the topics or chapters that we have in this book. So they have bacteriology, basic virology, mycology, parasitology, immunology, ectoparasites, and infectious disease. And then the last few are just for revision purposes. So for bacteriology, it tells you about how do you identify that this microorganism is a bacteria, what is the structure of bacteria, so how does it cause diseases, what are the common commensal bacteria, and then the drugs that are used for bacteria. Then for clinical part, it shows you all the different bacteria under each subclass. So like gram-positive, what are the bacteria like staphylococcus, and then all this different. And that same goes to the virus and mycology and parasitology. So we can go into one of the sub-chapters. So I chose gram-positive cocci, and when you click on this, it will bring you to this page here. So as we know, the most common gram-positive cocci is of course Staphylococcus aureus, and here it shows you all the diseases that it can cause with pictures of how does it look. So it's easy for us to visualize what the condition it is. So for example here, foot abscesses, scalded skin syndrome, folliculitis, all of this, and the pictures are also very clear. Then it also moves into how do we identify the bacteria. So like here, produce catalase, and then under microscope, how does it actually look like? It's grain positive cocci, grape-like structures, and then the laboratory tests. So like where you get coagulase positive, and then also they also go into the treatment. This is transmission, so how the staphylococcus actually transmit from person to person, and then how it cause disease in our body. Then the last part is on the treatment for treatment for the specific bacteria. So it's a very, very in-depth book for each particular microorganism that you can find in our body. And then for the last few parts, like I mentioned, is for revision purposes. So this part, brief summaries of medically important organisms, is actually really, really useful, especially if you want like a crash course of all the microorganisms that you need to know. You just go to this tab here, you click on this, and then it will bring you to this tab, and it will give you a very summarized description and the characteristics of the microorganism. So like here, what are the diseases that can cause those Staph aureus, diseases that can cause, characteristics, transmission, pathogenesis, and like diagnosis, treatment, prevention. So it's like a summarized version of the one that I showed you just now. So if you want to know, if you want to have like a revision session before exams, this will be very, very useful. Then other than that, this book also has this clinical cases section. So when you click on this, it will bring you to this page here, and it's really useful for big exam preparations, because they usually use clinical cases and want us to identify microorganisms from those cases. So they actually have quite a few cases for you here to actually test out your knowledge on each microorganisms. They also give you the answer here, and then this is the cases. Yeah. Then on top of that, there's also this part, pearls for the USMLE. So if you're preparing for USMLE, there's also have top tips, hot tips that usually comes out for USMLE, and they provide this in table form, and you can click on it. So like the first one, farm animals and household pets that acts as reservoirs for medically important organisms. So when you click on this table, it will bring you to this, and it will just have a summarize of all the microorganisms that are in household animals or pets and farm animals, and what are disease that can cause by these microorganisms. So that's why I say all three of these last few sections are for revision purposes, because they are really concise and good for like fast fast revision, or like just to test your knowledge. And the last part that I would like to talk about is they also have this review questions. Other than all these tips, when you click on that, it will bring you to this page here, and it has a very huge question bank that you can go through, like each topic. Like the basic bacteriology, there's 114 questions, and there's questions for each topic, and also test questions for USMLE, which is really useful if you're preparing for USMLE. So all in all, this book is a very in-depth book about all the microorganisms that we need to know in medical school. So this is really recommended for all of us that are studying medicine, or even medical practitioners, if they want to look back and refer to. And also for people who are preparing for exams, this few sections here and also the question will be really useful to test our knowledge prior to the exam. Yeah, so that's all from me, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact IMU Library. Thank you very much for listening.